It should now be recording.
Okay.
So we're going live. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening. My name's Chris. I'm here with Edelman Discoveries, and we're here to talk about the trip to Normandy and the Provence River Cruise. This is one of my favorite trips. This year in 2024 is going to be the 80th anniversary of the Normandy D-Day invasion, and of course, this trip takes us right to that location. We're going to go to Omaha and Utah Beach. I mean, see the cemeteries. It's pretty poignant. But all in all, the trip it's going to be a 12-day program. This here is the brochure. And this is just kind of a quick summary of it here. We have again 3 nights in Normandy in Sienne, France, and we have 7 nights aboard the cruise ship. And we're going to go over a wonderful, beautiful infinity pool on it. But the service, the food, the tours, all just impeccable. I absolutely loved it. But here, let's jump away from this and go into our PowerPoint presentation so we can kind of go through day by day what we're going to go through and really kind of experience and see when we're on the trip. Of course, when we fly, it would always be nice if we could get to Paris that easy, right? Just wham, bam, we're there. Well, this is, excuse me, let me back up. Before the flight's going to leave from Des Moines. And from Des Moines into Paris, here's just a quick map here of where we're going. This is the hotel in Cannes there, or excuse me, in Sienne there. Beautiful hotel. Google calls it right now, I think it's a 4.2 or 3 star. Really nice hotel. This is where our breakfast is going to be every day. But as we go through the tours, we're going to stop at, this is their city hall, believe it or not, and kind of make our way through Sienne. It's a beautiful little town. The first tour is going to be to Normandy Beach. And we're going to go actually out to the beach. You'll see kind of the terrace, how it all is. It's amazing. We'll also stop at Omaha Beach, and the cemetery there. But from there, let me back up here. Just this one day, the one day here, we're going to leave, and then we're going to Mont Saint Michel, which we have here. And Mont Saint Michel, we're going to be here all day. It's an absolutely beautiful day. Let me back up, because you have a choice. You can walk into this city via this bridge here, or you can or they'll drive you in, and then you can go up top. It's one of the highlights of the trip, honestly. And this is an included tour. And again, we're going to be here all day. We've been in Normandy basically 3 days, and we're leaving Normandy now, and we're going to take the high-speed train down to Lyon. It's about a 3.5-hour trip. And getting to there, we're going to board the Provence ship. This is a 5-star vessel. It's absolutely amazing. And you've got award-winning food, wines, and those are all going to be served and included with your meals. Your cabins are really first class. This is a typical French balcony cabin. Here's like what a suite would look like. But all of the ships have physical activities as well. There's a gym, there's bikes that you can rent. There's a little pool, of course, that we saw earlier. And this is all promotes that you can get out and really kind of do things. But when we get off the ship, we're going to be in the heart of wine country, and we're going to go wine tasting. We're going to be in Macon and actually tour a little. It's actually a little kind of wine museum almost, where they'll show you old presses and ancient techniques that they used to use. Then they end in like this room this old jukebox that still plays music, and they serve wine, and it's actually a lot of fun. The next day, you're down again, in the Burgundy wine country, but now we're visiting the Hotel Dieu, and this is the excuse, excuse me. This is the was actually a hostel at one point, but this is again just right off of the river, and you'll see kind of really how they used to live and what they used to do. You'll go to an ancient wine cellar as well, to taste some wine. But as we kind of move south down the river, we're going to come to Leon. And Leon, the ship is this is where we leave from the Saône River and we'll go to the Rhone River. We'll continue to sail south. But before we do, we're really going to have all day in Leon. And it's going to give you a city tour really around the city. Leon's got a lot to offer. It's an old Roman city. And really now it's like the culinary, it's where all the culinary arts kind of come together in France. It's really a culinary city. And of course, sailing further south, Avignon, personally, this was my favorite stop. This is the city of the popes. This is the palace of the popes. The Vatican, the Christianity moved its headquarters to Avignon for like 7 or 8 popes. And then just outside of Avignon, you've got the Ponte de Gard. And that's an old Roman aqueduct that we can go see as well. But what's really unique and kind of finishing it off is when we go down to Arles. Let me back up here. When we go down to Arles, this may look familiar. Oh my gosh, I'm just going to end this here. This may look familiar, but this is actually the cafe that Van Gogh in Van Gogh's famous painting. And Van Gogh spent a lot of time in Arles actually, and there's a couple of his paintings that are of the Arles kind of cityscape and landscape. Anyway, we're going to be in Arles all day. It's actually an old Roman city, and there's still an old it's a huge Roman amphitheater that's still there that we can tour and visit as well. So there's a lot going on. Leaving Arles though, we'll leave and we'll go down into basically the nature park. And this is an optional tour for folks if they want. They can go down, and this is really for the nature lover. There's a lot of birds, wild horses, the Ardèche Gorge. It's really funny. I'm out from the West Coast, and our tour guide told us that this was the Grand Canyon of Europe, and it is quite impressive. But I will say it is no Grand Canyon. I don't think our tour guide had ever been to the Grand Canyon before, but it was still, it's pretty amazing. And this river runs all the way through this deep gorge. And again, this day, if you choose, is spent in nature. Kind of heading south, and again, the river or the cruise line's now heading back to Leon because we're headed back north. This guy I actually took this picture. This guy was on our cruise, and he welcomed us every time we got on the ship from a tour. He was playing his accordion and singing. It was awesome. He really like gave it a lot of life. But for those that want, there is an extension to go down to Paris for the remainder of your time. Now, if we don't, we'll simply disembark in Leon, and we'll fly home from Leon. If we don't, we're going to disembark at Leon, and then we're going to take, again, another high-speed train over to Paris, where we'll have an additional 3 nights. You'll have a city tour of Paris. It's absolutely beautiful. And you're going to be there right after the Olympics as well. So, the Summer Olympics is going to be in Paris this year, and you're going to be coming in right after that. What a time to be there. And the Notre Dame, of course, you've got the Eiffel Tower, the Arc de Triomphe, the Louvre. The tour, it doesn't take you, the tour takes you into the Louvre to get this picture, but we don't go into the museum to see the Mona Lisa or something. If you want, there's certainly free time to go into the Louvre to do that. But again, just full disclosure, our city tour, we don't go into the Louvre. We got too much to see, Yeah. we're going all over. And anyway, whoops, let me, if if there's if there's any questions or comments about the trip, I know I went through it pretty quickly, but again, all in all, let me go back to our brochure here because I think this is important. There's two different ways that folks can sign up, and you can sign up. One way is the reservation form, and it's as simple as literally as what it is. You put in your name, you type in all the stuff you want, select the cabin you'd like, and then you give it to Travis, and Travis sends it on to us. Okay, so that's way number one. Way number two, and honestly, it's probably the easier way, is you go here and you can click here on the Book Now button. You'll click there, and that'll bring us to, if it'll come, here it is, and it'll bring us to the online reservation form. And then if you want, whoops, taking a while to load here. If you want additional information, scrolling down, here we go. So you have like optional tours, the highlights, here's your daily itinerary. One thing I didn't mention that I want to, this thing about insurance here, this is in the fine print. Within the price that you see there on the brochure, and obviously it's dependent on the cabin you select, but within that price is included traveler's insurance. Okay, that traveler's insurance is right here. Now, what that covers is it's got 150 grand of emergency evacuation, 25 grand of emergency medical and dental. I mean, God forbid you ever have to use this stuff, right? But I mean, at least it's there. You've got a trip delay, misconnection of 1,000, even baggage delay or baggage loss there. The one thing though that it doesn't cover in case if you had to cancel your trip, okay? And you can buy additional coverage for that. You can buy it from us. You can buy it from any third party you'd like. But I just wanted you to see the included insurance. There is complimentary insurance that's free of charge, but again, it doesn't cover in case you would have to cancel your trip, and that's why you want to buy that additional cancellation coverage. Sure. And anyway, I just wanted to make that distinction.
Yeah. For everybody watching, Travis Tolliver here with the Waverly Chamber, and I just want to thank Chris for taking the time to go through this trip. A couple questions, Chris, real quick, especially with the sign up, and yes, either way is really easy. I think we've had folks do both, and it's just a really easy way to sign up for a great trip like this. But the question I always get asked about this is obviously where are we flying out of? So we're flying out of Des Moines. You answered that question earlier. But then, how does the travel work there? Is it Des Moines directly to Paris? Is it Des Moines to Chicago and then Paris?
Great question.
I mean, do we know those stops yet, or does that kind of happen, as we get closer to the trip?
Travis, that's a great question. And actually, so you are, yes, we're leaving from Des Moines, and we are arriving in Paris, but exactly how we're going to get there and the airline that we're going to use, we're still not sure. Okay. We're holding contracts right now with United and Delta Airlines. And so we expect one of those airlines, more than likely the schedule, it'll depend on the airline, but a common schedule could be Des Moines to Chicago and Chicago into Paris.
Sure.
That's pretty likely.
And the cost for this trip covers the flight, covers your hotels, or obviously the river cruise as well. What about food? Are there some meals? Is it all the meals?
It's so when you're on the cruise, your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, of course, is included. When you're in the or when you're in Normandy, there's breakfast included every night, and then there's also a dinner that's included as well. So folks need to think about, if you're thinking about what else to plan for, I guess 3 lunches and a couple of dinners is what you need to plan for.
And I think that's fantastic because as a traveler myself, I really enjoy the idea of being able to go out and experience food out in the communities that we visit, right? So It doesn't make a lot of sense for those folks who are thinking financially anyway to have all the meals covered in a trip like this,
Right.
because you actually do want to go out and experience maybe some different foods in the local eateries that you wouldn't be able to if you were stuck on the ship or at the hotel constantly, right? So I just want to make
Agreed.
that point very clear that it's a cultural experience. Chris, you and I were talking earlier about this trip being really chock full on the front end of a lot of history, obviously with Normandy and of course that great anniversary coming up, but then also too the cultural and wine experience on the river cruise. Can you just talk a little bit more about those two facets of this great trip that you're offering?
Sure. So, and of course, on the front end, you have we're spending a lot of time, primarily, really at the American landing site, where the Americans came in on their landing site at D-Day and pushed in through the German lines. That's where we're going to spend most of our time on, and it's, I mean, you learn stuff honestly that, I mean, I like World War II and history and everything else, and so I'd read up. Both of my grandparents fought in it, both my granddads, and so you have that. Wow, I want to learn more, but boy, you go there and you come and you leave and you have a whole new appreciation of what it was, what they went through, and I learned a lot that I didn't know before going in. And it was a lot of fun, and really, I mean, but hey, I enjoy that kind of stuff. On the cruise is just where you're cruising through. First, it's world-class wines. You're going through some world-class wine regions, and so that's amazing. But in addition to that, you have, again, more history because, gosh, I mean, just in Avignon, for example, there were about 600 or 700 years of the Vatican, municipality, whatever you want to call it. The power of the Vatican was headquartered in Avignon, and you get to go into the palace and really see it and learn all about it. And that was something I knew very little about going in, and it was just fascinating to me. So there's so many different things that really can pull people and resonate with them, pull up their interests. But for me, when you get to sail through, you're on a 5-star ship, drinking world-class wine, looking at UNESCO type architecture and sites. It's sign me up.
Yeah, right.
I'm game for that all day.
I totally agree. And, for the experienced traveler, too, if you've been to these places, always fun to go back, experience new things that you haven't before. There's a choice of plenty of tours, I'm sure, and activities that you can do. But at the same time, if you just want to kick back and relax and pull up a chair outside of a local cafe and enjoy a glass of wine, you can do that, too. So I think this trip really speaks to a lot of different people. I really want to thank Chris. I want to thank Edelman Discoveries for putting this together for us, for all the hard work that they put into these trips. Waverly folks, I think that you're really going to like this. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me here at the Chamber office. Certainly you can reach out to Chris as well. I can get you his contact information. But this is a great trip to sign up for and a great cost. And then also, too, the extension to Paris. So three nights in Paris, right, is what I saw on there.
Yes, sir.
Any tours or activities that are built into that as well, or is it just a kind of a free for all?
It's well, what it is, not quite a free for all, but there is going to be a significant amount of free time. There's what it is. We're going to bring you in and you're going to have a city tour of Paris. The city tour is going to be pretty broad, take you really kind of all around the different districts. Moulin Rouge will go Arc de Triomphe, the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre, Notre Dame, etc. But we aren't going to stay at any one place very long, kind of make our way around. Then there are going to be an optional tour, for example, to Versailles, to the Palace of Versailles. There's going to be an optional tour that takes us outside of Paris to go into that. So, but there is going to be free time in Paris for folks to explore, maybe go to the museums, go hang out in the cafe and people watch. There's a lot of different stuff to do, but you have the free time to pick and choose.
Yeah, that's amazing. I've been to Paris before, visited a lot of those places. You're right too. Just after the Olympics, it should be still pretty buzzing with excitement there. But then also too, Notre Dame still being reconstructed after that
Yes.
horrific fire. So really great to see the progress on that. So just a lot of great things to do on that extension to Paris as well, and just be able to say, hey, you've been to the City of Lights. It's pretty
Amen.
awesome. So. But yeah, is there anything else, Chris, that people need to know about this trip? Anything at all that we might have missed during this quick presentation?
The one thing that I guess probably is the biggest takeaway is, if you think you do want to go, or you want to go, this trip is signing, or is filling up. And so the sooner you sign up, the better. And why I say that isn't so much for the price, it's more about, so you get the cabin you want. There are cabins there, that, and there could be a chance when you call in and the cabin you want could be sold out and you have to get another one. So the sooner you call in to secure that cabin, that's, you'll know that you've got what you want, and not have to take the, your second choice or something. So
Absolutely.
that would be my only kind of takeaway.
Sure. And Chris, you're absolutely right too. It's not really a sales pitch as much as we want to make sure that people get the space that they want on the cruise
Right.
ship. And remember, this is not a big Carnival cruise ship or anything. This is a small river cruise that's limited on cabins. And so when Chris says it's filling up fast, he actually means it's really filling up fast. So
It's
we want to make sure
there's
that people get signed up and get to take advantage of this trip. Thank you so much, Chris, for taking the time and explaining this to us, and we look forward to having some Waverly folks on this trip in the fall.
Thank you, Travis. And hey, guys, just for some context, the ship has, I believe it's 65 cabins. So there you go.
There you go.
So it is very small. But thank you, Travis. Hey, thanks for having me. And please, if you have any questions, I'll do whatever I can to get them answered for you. Thanks
Awesome.
again.
Thank you so much.
Bye.